Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with the Dangers in My Heart episode number 3 reaction. Okay, the previous episode, it was another episode where we get to see more Ichikawa kind of getting to know more of Yamada and vice versa. At first there was that whole scene with that candy where where Yamada was trying to get like water while she wasn't able to. Later on Ichikawa tries to help her but sees that she has already made the candy, and like that was that scene. And then there was that whole cultural festival, I think, like the preparation section where there Ichikawa kind of got into a little bit of trouble, where like he and Hara were doing like a painting together, and something happened, like where it seemed as if Hara did something bad to Yamada by like writing the name in the grave of Yamada. So to to kind of keep Hara not get like, what can I say, to not put her under the bus, he took the blame for himself. Obviously, later on, it got cleared up, and yeah, you can see at first Yamada. I think she kind of thought that maybe she believed that he's the one who did it, but then when she realizes that he actually took the blame for himself, I'm pretty sure Yamada changed his her mind about him, and later on probably felt a little apologetic that she even she kind of thought that he might do it, that type of thing. I feel like like it happened there. But either way, that kind of in I'm guessing made her even closer to Ichikawa in a way, because later on she kind of comes and talks to Ichikawa and tells him to paint the little blood on her face as a little makeup kind of thing for the haunted house. And yeah, like all that stuff happened. It was a nice episode. Oh, in the end, there was that scene where they kind of end up together in like a club, where there was like there's a few photos they were like showing of the town. And good thing that Ichikawa ended up getting a selfie of him and Yamada. It was a little bit of misunderstanding. He was actually talking about taking the picture of the albums, but she thought they were talking. He was talking about their own selfie picture. So yeah, either way, he did end up getting a picture with Yamada. So that's a good thing. And that's where it ended. So let's see what happens in this episode. Episode number 3, let's begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Book? Oh my god, another isekai. What the hell? Yeah? Yeah? Looks Hmm. Yeah, okay. Hmm. All right. Yeah. I don't think so. Wait. Wait, Yamada's here? Or did she just leave her? Oh. 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 I feel like this is the actual Yamada. Let's just assume. Oh. Up. Here we go. The big reveal. Yes. There you go. I feel like she's just here to sleep. Alright, stop. Oh, she's woken up. Hmm. Inside my skull. Wait, she ate a lot. I can guess the reason. What the? Oh no, she's gonna bring out a candy or something. I knew that. Stop! Isn't your stomach hurting? Oh, that's okay. That's nice. Still eating. Your stomach is aching. She's still eating. Oh, I don't think she took it. Like, this is for headache. That's for. I don't think Yamada. I don't think Yamada drank from this. Oh boy. Okay. Is that her? I guess. Yeah, the class number is written. Oh my god. He stops his own hand. Yeah? Oh wow. Oh, someone's here. Oh, the nurse is here. Hmm. Well, you got okay. Yes, I've been forced. All right, stop that. Yeah. Oh my god. Stop. Wow. Uh. Oh, there she is. And she's talking about the candy. I'm sure she's talking about the candy. Yep. Yes. Wow. What's up with this guy? He's gonna get slapped. Yeah, go back. I don't like this kid. Stop that. Okay, what? Uh, this this kid actually needs to get slapped. Well, I feel like okay, I'll talk about this later. I feel like there's a line, like there's this like funny haha pervy friend kind of thing in anime, and then there's this guy. It's her picture, isn't it? There you go. He gave the wrong one. Good lord. Oh, he deliberately swapped them. Okay. Oh my god. Redraw the character. Oh my god. Oh. Mm. Oh god. I feel like she won't understand any of it. Yeah, oblivious. Oblivious. Nah, oblivious. Or she'll understand, but she'll act oblivious. What type of websites are you looking at? What? What? Yeah? Yes. Yes, exactly. uh, oh, wait. Oh, nice. Wait, what? Use your hand. Yeah. What the? Wait, what? Oh, here we go. She found it. Oh god. What? What's she doing? Wow. Uh, oh, she's back. Oh no. She's like, oh, did you take it? Oh. She's like, give my candy back. Oh, oh. I'm pretty sure you ate it. Oh my god. What the hell is she doing? Oh, she's trying to find it. Oh my god. Wow. All right. Wait, why was she blamed? Yeah, she's tall and everything, you know. I don't think that's how it works. Yes. Oh. Hmm. Oh my god. Oh, it's her. Okay. She's clueless. She's like, huh? What happened? She's just standing there because, supposed to. Oh. Oh no! Well, now she has a nosebleed. Is her nose bleeding? Yep, her nose is bleeding. Yeah, it hurt her, like, like the basketball. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. She's a little distracted, I'm pretty sure it was an accident. Damn, she's bleeding a lot. What the hell? Like, okay. Oh, but her photo shoot. What's he doing? Oh my god. Go underneath the bed. Hide over there. He's actually underneath the bed. Yeah, what the hell? Oh my god. Yeah, the photo shoot. She was talking about it. Hmm. Oh, he's crying as well. Oh my god. Oh, the picture. She put it in her notebook. No, what is that? Yeah. Hmm. There you go. Damn, the third episode. You already realized. Okay, what the hell is wrong? Someone smack this kid. Someone please smack him. Oh my god. Oh, he. Like I said, there's like a limit to everything. Like this guy is so annoying. Oh my god. I shouldn't laugh. That looks funny. Yeah. Everyone's asking the same question. What happened? I got. that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, what? All right. Someone can please someone just expel this guy? Oh, no more tissues. What is he doing? He's keeping it here. But doesn't he might not come here. She might not come here today. Yeah. Oh, she's here, I think. Yeah. Wait, no. Ah, my god. Wow. Oh my god. She just takes some potato chips. For that, she's. But oh well. I was stolen away. Okay, that was nice. That was a really nice episode. Except that kid, you know. What the hell? What's up with him? Like I said, there's this limit to everything. I feel like animes do this a lot, but I don't really get bothered by this whole pervy friend trope, you know. But even in all those animes, you know, like the whole pervy friend trope, there's a limit which they don't cross. I feel like this kid crosses each and every limit, and I'm actually annoyed because of that. Like, what the hell? Like, there's a time and place for everything, and a situation. Even when she's like, you know, like bleeding, she's crying, and those two are just doing their own thing. Like, what the hell? Like, have a little bit of empathy for people. Like I'm so annoyed at that guy, especially that one kid. I don't know his name, whatever his name is. All right. Okay, is that it? Or is there something left? Nope, that is it. So, yeah, there you go. Like I said, this was a very wholesome episode, except all the scenes where that kid came out. You know. So, yeah. Alright, so we begin this episode with Ichikawa with his usual, like just crazy stuff, Junie stuff in his head. And he is making like a story or whatever of this one guy who gets isekai and his hand has like some power to destroy whatever he comes in contact with. And this whole Chuny trope of, oh, my right hand, oh, my left hand, like an ancient evil power is sealed over here, that type of stuff that most of the Chuny kids do. He literally made it into like a story, or is planning to make it into a story. And the heroine is obviously someone who looks like completely like Yamada, and he's making like a little story out of it, which is nice, because like at least he can come up with all of these stuff. Like who knows, maybe he has a future in being like a like an author or like a mangaka or something. Yeah, but either way, okay, that's how it starts. Next, we get to see that he's in the infirmary, and this part is so funny because he's like, oh, there's something in my brain, some kind of creature, which literally means that I'm having a headache. Like he's kind of because of his usual Junie way of talking, he's saying it like this: there's some kind of creature inside my head. Like the normal translation is I'm having a headache. So he was actually having a headache. That was it. Like these Chuny, like the Chuny lingo, you need to understand. Oh boy. Anyways, he's just sitting here and he's like just looks underneath and sees the shoe of Yamada, and he's like, oh no, Yamada's here. But then he's like, wait, there's another person called Yamada in class 1. Maybe it's him. And he thinks of that, and he's like, alright, it must be him, I doubt it is our Yamada, but he kind of lays down and tries to take a rest. The nurse goes away, and while trying to go away, kind of the curtains kind of just gets drawn, and yeah, Yamada is there. The actual Yamada, like our Yamada, is there sleeping. And Ichikawa sees that, and Ichikawa's like, oh my god, it's her. And it's crazy, the first thing he says, like in his head, is like, oh, perfect chance to murder her. But then he's like, oh, looking at her, he's kind of just mesmerized. And then Yamada wakes up, and he immediately just turns on the other side. And you can say at first Yamada was like, I think at first she didn't realize who it was. At first, when she wakes up and looks at him, she kind of was a little bit kind of, I guess, what's that word? Like a little bit anxious. But then she probably realized that it's actually Ichikawa, and that's why she's like, oh, thank goodness, it's you, someone who I know. And makes sense, like a stranger just, like imagine while you're sleeping, a stranger just looking at you. And you wake up, you see a stranger that's just looking at you, and then, it's kind of creepy. So she's like, oh, thank God, it's not a stranger. It's actually you, someone who I know. And she has come here because her stomach hurts. Yeah, makes sense why. Because she eats so much candy. Like she eats so much junk food. Like, it's no wonder her stomach is hurting. Like potato chips, candy, like everything she eats. Like even if she doesn't her metabolism is probably quite good. She she probably burns out all the fat. Even if that's the case, the fact that she's still consuming all this junk food definitely means she's getting a stomach ache. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But like she's like, why are you here, Yamada? And not Yamada, sorry, Ichikawa. Ichikawa's like, oh, I love how at first he was using his Juni lingo. He was going to say something like, there's a creature in my head, but then he stops. He's like, oh, it's a headache. And Yamada's like, all right, like tries to get something from her pocket, and the first thing that comes out is candy. But obviously there is, like a headache medicine or something like that. I think gives it to him, and just a minute. Okay, what is this stomachache? No, headache medicine, isn't it? Just a minute. Oh, let me read this part. I think she mentioned. Oh, this stuff works on headaches as well. So it's like a I guess like a medicine that works on both on headaches and stomachache as well. So she actually took one. So yeah, this part I was like, oh, like isn't this headache medicine? No, it's probably something that like is supposed to be stomachache medicine, but as she says, it works on headaches as well. So something like that. Anyways, and yeah, and she gives it to him, and I love how she gives it to him. The next thing she does is put a candy in her mouth. Like, your stomach is aching, you're still having candy. Like, that's crazy. Oh my god. And I can't imagine eating so many candy. Like, the funny part, I also love candies. I'm pretty sure everyone loves candies. Like, like candies are nice. And like I remember, like at a certain time in my life, eating a lot of candies. Like I used to have like a box full of candies always ready, and every day I used to consume crazy amount of candies. I just loved, like like most of the time whenever my mouth was empty, I was just like like watching like I don't know, like watching like YouTube or whatever, like maybe the television. I used to pop one in, and used to consume crazy amount of candies. Like obviously I like didn't have any stomachache or anything, but this like candies actually, what can I say, like it makes you fat. And I felt so uncomfortable, like like I realized that, like after, like obviously when I'm eating it, it's very tasty, I'm just having the time of my life. But then little by little I realized that, wait a minute, yeah, I'm actually probably going to become fat if I keep consuming it like this. So I should probably stop. And I stopped after that. Nowadays I still have candies, but not like that crazy amount. Like like I was like Yamada. I just consume so much candy like every day. But yeah, nowadays I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Obviously, it's not good for you. First of all, like so many candies. Candies have so many things like color, like like color, those artificial color stuff. Like and like like sugar and everything. Like just so obviously that's one reason. Another reason, it makes you so much, like like it has so much calories, and like it makes you fat. So yeah, like it's not good for you having that much amount of candies. So like I still have candies obviously, but not like that, not like Yamada. Like like having a bunch of candies in your pockets, that's crazy. And anyways, we get to see Ichikawa go to the to kind of like have like a little bit of water to take the medicine with, and sees that the water cup is there. And in his head he's like, oh, like Yamada probably used this, and I also like like the medicine is also something that Yamada had, so I'm pretty sure Yamada took the medicine. And in his head he's like the whole indirect kiss and everything he's thinking in his head. And he takes it obviously, and Yamada then just leaves, goes back to her class, and he goes back to sleep. And then sees that Yamada left her jersey over there, and this part was funny where he tries to get it and his other hand stops it. He's like, nope, stop it. And she also left her candy. So there's two things that she left here: her jersey, her candy. So he's struggling to do something, like like he's trying to get it. His other hand is stopping him. And then the nurse comes in, so he goes down back to sleep. The nurse is like, god damn it, she left her candy over here, and she also has her jersey. Takes the jersey, just plops it on Ichikawa's face, and she's like, take it, you're probably in her class, aren't you? Take it and give it to her. And she starts grumbling by like collecting the candies and just leaves. And Ichikawa's like, oh, like this is inevitable. I didn't do anything. Like she's the one who put it on me, so yeah, I'm not at fault. And then he says, the creature in my head and transfer into my lower regions. I'm like, all right, wow. uh, oh my god, that's funny. Okay, so after that, he takes a jersey, comes out, and is probably going to return it to Yamada. And you see Yamada running in the hallway. And here she was like, "Oh, I've left something in the school infirmary." And obviously, like knowing how Yamada's brain works, I immediately know this was going to be like she was going to be like, "Oh, I left my candy over there." And yeah, that's exactly how it goes. That's what she's concerned about, her candy. And she looks at Ichikawa with her jersey, doesn't even care, just goes past him towards the infirmary, trying to get her candy back. Yeah, there you go. Now that was the first scene. Then the next scene we get to see Yamada and her group over there, and then those three kids in the back, them with their usual shenanigans. Just this guy, like what can I say? Like, I really hope that this guy changes in the future. I don't think he will. Like, he comes up with these crazy games. Now, like I said, I feel like the author deliberately knew what he was trying, like, knew what he was doing. And I feel like this is actually like, what can I say? Like a deliberate thing that, like, the author did. Because, every anime or every manga has this one type of pervy friend character who are kind of like this, but they at least have like a line that they don't cross. And I feel like the author knew that, like a character like this can be added here. He knew that deliberately, and he actually added a character who is this unlikable. Like I said, I don't have any problem with these pervy, like friend support characters or whatever the hell. I don't really have a problem with them. They sometimes make these weird jokes, and whatever the jokes are, they kind of either direct that towards themselves or someone else who we don't even know, or like plain simple jokes. They kind of make fun about that. Sometimes makes these jokes in front of the other characters, and like the other characters looks at them weirdly. Sometimes he gets beaten up by the other characters, and that's the level it is. It's kind of at that level. And I don't have much problem with them. Most of the time I kind of laugh. I'm like, haha, that's funny, like that type of thing. I know there's a few people who actually just hate these characters, but I have to say this is probably the only anime that I saw where I actually have a problem with this character. And he's also one of those pervy friend character, but I cannot stand this guy. I feel like this guy crosses each and every line that there is. Like, first of all, he comes up with these weird things which are just so outrageous. I've never seen any character like this before in any anime. Like, I'm genuine. I've seen a lot of animes. I've read a lot of mangas. I've never seen a character like this before, who is this unfiltered and this nasty. And it's crazy. That's number one. Number two was in this episode where he actually crosses a bigger line. The line is where someone is actually hurt. Like we get to see that section where Yamada's hurt, her nose is bleeding. Still making fun of that whole thing. And is he that like oblivious about what's going on? Like he grabs a tissue with the blood in it, and it's like haha, like a tissue with the blood. Like, how old are you? What is wrong with you? Like, this is another line that he crossed in this episode, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, someone is genuinely hurt. Like, you're still making jokes about this situation. Not once, he did it again. He did it twice. He did it again once, like, after when Yamada was crying, later on, when there's that bandage, he again made the same, another, like scumbag joke. And like, the other friends are also kind of, bad, but he's like the one who does the maximum up, of everything. And yeah, this is probably one of the worst characters in all anime. I feel like this kid, like, what the hell? Like I said, I don't have any problem with pervy support characters in anime, but this guy crosses all lines, and I don't like that. I actually have a problem with him. And like, whenever he comes out on the screen, I actually cringe. I'm like, what the hell? Are you serious? What's wrong with you? So yeah, like I said, I feel like human beings have to have, at least should have, like, a decent bit of bit of empathy in them. This guy lacks not like lacks no empathy, doesn't have any empathy. He lacks everything, basic decency, and all those things. And just it's just so bad that it's actually cringeworthy. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like I said, there's a lot of people who actually hate all the support. I've seen a lot of people complain about so many characters who make these type of pervy jokes, in anime and stuff. The pervy friend character. I can't imagine everyone who gets triggered by those characters, how they will feel about this character. They'll probably just be like, oh my god, like, this guy is so bad that it's actually, what can I say? Like I said, I don't like him. I don't know if he gets a redemption arc in the future, but at least now, like, I don't like him at all. Whenever he pops up, I feel like someone go and slap him. I get that feeling. Yeah, I feel like I'm hating on him a bit too much, but I really don't like him that much. So yeah, there you go. He comes up with this weird game about, going and figuring out the girls, like, how, what does he say? Wait a minute. Play a game where we ask the girls if they touch themselves. Oh my god, great. And yeah, he goes to the girls first, and he's like, oh, you girls. And then they look at him, like, in a very, put off, disgusting way. The girls look at him, and yeah, obviously he just wimps out. He's like, can I see your fingernails? And I want to see how healthy you are. And yeah, then they show their fingernails, and he's like, oh, okay, just leaves. And yeah, he's like, oh, the nails are cut. And I'm like, great. Like how much free time must you have that you're actually doing this? Like, that's kind of pathetic. Anyways, and like, this is the thing, the other guy, the guy who likes Hara, he kind of talked to Hara, and when he was talking to Hara, he's so normal, he's like, he looked so much normal. Like, he was not making any weird jokes and everything. He was genuinely talking to her, and like, it seemed like he's a nice dude. But as soon as he comes in contact with this comeback, this kid, he like, his IQ drops, I feel like, and he becomes like him. And he's making some other jokes about, oh, maybe like some weird jokes he's making alongside him. Like, in the second episode, or was it the first episode, when he was talking to Hara, I'm like, all right, you know what, this kid is kind of okay, I like him. But now again, here, when he's talking to him, he's just, yeah, like, off the rails. So, like I said, I don't have a problem with these pervy jokes or whatever, but the fact that he crosses so many lines, like, even when Yamada was hurt, he was making those jokes and everything, that is unforgivable. I don't like him just solely based on that. Like, it's actually, like, so pathetically, weird that it's cringeworthy. Like, that's, like, that type of behavior should not be tolerated. Like, when someone is hurt, you're making fun of them like that, like, and like, not once but twice. Anyways, I feel like I've ranted on him for about like 5 to 6 minutes, and I feel like he deserves everything of that. So yeah. Anyways, so next, he's like, oh, like, he says like thinks of another weird game, and gives Ichikawa like a page and tells him to pass it to Yamada. Obviously, like Ichikawa's like, oh, there must be something really weird look like inside of this. But he has to do it, because he told him to do it, and Ichikawa wants to stay under the radar. So what he did is kind of switched it up with his picture of Anna, and he took it and gave it to Yamada and left with the original note. And yeah, Yamada's like, oh, what is this? Opens it and sees her own picture, and she's so happy with that. And yeah, but in the end, we see Ichikawa sees that in the note it was written, oh, can you give your line ID? Wait, what's this kid's name? I forgot his name. I think his name was written, wasn't it, underneath? Give me your line ID from Adachi. That's his name, Adachi. Yeah, I hate this kid, Adachi, or whatever his name is. Alright, the next scene, again, he's thought like a weird game again, and goes to the girls, and he, some kind of like personality test and all that. And he's like, oh, let's play a personality test, and he's like, oh, here's my hand, touch your hand however you like on my hand. And in his head, he's like, oh, this is going to this is going to indicate what type of person they are, like his, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, like in different ways, how the girls are going to touch, like this, whatever, it's going to show what type of person they are. And I love how, what's this girl's name, Moeka or Moe something, I forgot her name. She's like, oh, you just want to touch our hands, don't you? Haha. And I love how they're also like, oh, so then bring the other boys, why are you only targeting girls? And he brings his friends, and this guy, the one who likes Hara, he also touches his hand. And yeah, and I like how all the other girls, they kind of do some weird thing. The first girl was like, oh, uses a ruler to touch him, and he interprets it in his own way. Then the other girl uses her leg. The other girl uses like that other girl's hand, and just all that stuff. And Yamada's like, oh, what am I going to do? And she's thinking of a plan, what to do. She puts on her glasses and everything, goes to her bag and starts searching about something. While all the other girls figure out what they're doing. They look at the internet and sees what they're doing. And yeah, the cat's out of the bag. Either way, this thing is still in his head. Ichikawa's head. He's still thinking of all of this. So when he went to the library, yeah, obviously Yamada is here, but Yamada comes back and sees one of her candy or whatever is missing. She thought that Ichikawa took it. Went to Ichikawa, grabbed his hand and just forcefully opened it. And Ichikawa's like, oh my god, just falls down on the floor. And he's like, oh, she's the more dominant one. Oh, that was funny. But yeah, Adachi, yeah, that guy, I just cannot believe it. He's just, yeah. Alright, next, the basketball match or whatever. The PE class, and you can see that Ichikawa is still struggling with his feelings. He doesn't know what to feel about Yamada, and he looks at her and he's like, oh, I don't know what to feel. I more or less kind of realize what I think about her, but then her in his head he's like, oh, I want to, what does he say, his whole thing about murdering her or whatever. He's thinking of all of that, but then he's also kind of confused about his feelings, because this is his own way. What do you see in other animes? Characters are oblivious to either their own feelings, or they don't understand what they feel about the other person. That's this type of thing, and little by little they kind of understand their feeling. That's what happens in other rom-com shows. While here, the fact, the first thing that he said in the first episode, you remember when he said, what's in my head is murder, I want to kill Anna. That's what he says, I think, something like that. So that is his way of being confused about his own feelings. Like, we need to remember that Ichikawa is very edgy. He's like this whole Junie thing is going on in his head. So whatever he's going to think will be something outrageous. But that doesn't mean that's what he's thinking. That's his way of thinking about a situation. For example, in this episode only, when he was getting a headache, he was referring to that as there's some weird creature in my head. That's how he referred to that. That's his way of saying I have a headache. So this is what it is, like any type of situation, he exaggerates it to max. He exaggerates something to the max potential and comes up with some weird narration and like some kind of a weird outrageous things he comes up with. Like for him, headache means there's something in my head. That's what it means. So we need to remember that. So what he said in the first episode, like I want to kill Yamada, is definitely not what he's thinking. This is his own edgy way of being confused about his own feelings, and he's still confused about his feelings. He doesn't know what to feel, and this is what it is. Like he's just confused and edgy, and that being confused and edgy means he's going to think of these weird scenarios. And killing Yamada is another one weird scenario, like in his head, which is just the result of his edginess. Obviously, he doesn't mean that. For him, he's just confused about his feelings, and that's what it is. So he's still doesn't know what to feel, just looking at Anna, and he goes and sits down, and before sitting down, the basketball comes and hits him, and he falls down. Before that, we can see that Yamada was talking about how she needs to burn some fat because there's a photograph session next day. And yeah, then he gets hurt by the ball, and without seeing, he kind of takes the ball and he's going to throw it, but then he sees Yamada's coming towards him, and he's like, okay, and stops and normally gives it to her. And you can see Yamada's also pretty interested in him, and she goes back, and you can see everyone's playing the game, and she gets distracted, and she's looking at Ichikawa, and Ichikawa looks at her, their eyes meet, and yeah, she was kind of not looking towards the ball, so the ball comes and hits her nose, and she falls down. Obviously, at first everyone was like, oh my god, what happened, are you okay? And she gets up and she's like, I'm fine, everything is okay. But then we get to see she's actually bleeding. It takes a little bit of time, but she starts bleeding, and I was like, at first I was like, wait, she's okay? I feel like her nose should bleed. But yeah, it seemed like she was okay, but she was not. She actually started really bleeding. And the ball really came and hit her hard, so that amount of blood coming out, it makes sense. It was not like a little injury. She actually hit her nose very hard, and it's a basketball. A nose is a very a delicate portion, part of your face. So imagining a basketball coming and just hitting you in your nose. Oh my god, that's actually, yeah, that's painful. And she's right, she could have easily broken something, but thank god that nothing like that happened. But she starts bleeding, it's actually blood is dropping, and everyone gets freaks out, and they're like, oh my god, what's happening? Gives her tissue. The PE teacher's like, okay, come with me, let's go to the infirmary. And you can see that Ichikawa was very concerned looking at her. Now one of the girls were like, oh, who did that, who shot towards her? And one of the other girls are like, oh, sorry, it was me. And obviously I don't think she shot it deliberately towards her. She Yamada was kind of distracted. She was looking at Ichikawa. So I don't think it was her fault, that other girl. She was just distracted, and she probably hit the ball hard. But either way, we see that Ichikawa immediately gets up and starts running, and you can see that he's confused. He's like, why am I doing this? Again, whenever something happens to Ichikawa, I'm just always so concerned and go towards him. And you can see him trying to figure out his own feelings, why he's doing this. Goes to the infirmary, and you can see that while going, the whole the what's that word? The hallway was blood was dripping. like like drop by drop. Like that's crazy. Like like imagine the amount of blood just falling, how much injury she had. And it was crazy. It's a lot of blood dripping, and this shows that she was very much injured. Either way, you can see the nurse, like is, like taking care of her, and they called like her parents and everything, and you can see that Ichikawa is just crawling for legs, and he goes underneath the bed so that nobody finds him. Either way, you can see that Yamada, like like it takes the phone, talks to her mother, and you can see she's very sad. She's crying. She's just like like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I have a photo shoot next day, and you can see Ichikawa realizes. Ichikawa's like, oh yeah, she was telling about the photo shoot. So like you can see that Yamada, like this kind of shows she has. I think like I said this in the previous episode as well. She has this, I feel like this inferiority complex, not inferiority complex, but he takes everything to like like very strictly, especially these type of situation. Here she is like, oh no, what is everyone like I had a photo shoot next day, what's my mom going to think, what is my manager going to think, like I'm letting them down, that type of thing she has. And she's crying because of that. And I'm sure the mom like is definitely not thinking of that. I'm pretty sure the mom is very much concerned about her daughter now that she hurt her nose. I don't think she's thinking about the photo shoot. Neither is her manager. I'm pretty sure they're concerned about her. But the fact that she is like, oh no, they must be disappointed in me, kind of shows how she's so strict on herself, and probably has a little bit of inferiority complex or something. But either way, you can see like her crying, and then underneath the bed you can see Ichikawa also crying. And then like she was trying to get something on her note, like the thing drops, and we see that Ichikawa's drawing sketch of her, she put it over there like nicely. And Ichikawa sees that, and you can see like like a little like montage of everything that went through in these 3 episodes, like flashes by. He thinks of all of that in his head, and in the end he comes to the conclusion. He's like, oh, I can understand now, I like her. And this was quite surprising, because I feel like I like I said, I've read the manga, but I've forgotten so many things. So I did not remember this part. I forgot the fact that he actually realized this quickly that he likes her, which is kind of impressive because, like I said, this is a very rare thing. It's very rare that you get a character who actually realizes their feeling this quickly. And this is going to be quite. I feel like there's also another anime which kind of did this. What was it? My Dress Up Darling. Yep, where Marin gets to realize her feelings for Gojo. Very early. I think it was like the 5th or 6th episode. Here in this show, it's like the 3rd episode that Ichikawa got to realize his own feelings. And I think in Dress Up Darling, yeah, it was the 5th or 6th episode where Marin gets to realize her feelings. So, which is this thing is rare, understanding your own feelings this quickly in the anime. It's kind of rare, and this kind of gives plenty of opportunities for better character development because the character knows that, realizes his own feeling, which is going to bring out some more nice, like character development in the future. And yeah, anyways, next we get to see the next day. Oh no, not the next day. Everyone is in the classroom, kind of gloomy, and then this kid Adachi, he is like, ha, 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 look at this, I found her tissue with the blood in it. And I'm like, god damn, what the hell is wrong with this kid? Like I said, this is the section when I was like, yeah, you know what, this kid is actually crossing all the lines now. Like he actually needs to be, I don't know, like disciplined. Like what the hell is this? Someone got hurt like this and this is what you're doing? Like what type of insensitive little prick are you? You have no empathy, basic human emotions? Are you lacking in them? Like what is this? What type of behavior is this? Like there's one thing, like being like pervy and kind of like like the pervy friend support character, and then there's being Adachi, this guy, like he's actually crossing all lines. And you can see that Ichikawa Ichikawa actually really gets pissed off, and he's like, you know what, like enough is enough, and he gets and tries to probably say something to him, but then he realizes that his own shirt is like bloody because he crawled on the floor, and he sits down to hide the blood stains, and yeah. Now next we get to see next day Yamada has come school, and like the bandage is there. I love how everyone is asking, oh, what happened, like did something happen? And even that guy, the guy, like that senpai guy who tries to ask for the line number, even he's like what happened, what happened to your nose? I love how this, her friend, her best friend, the one who Ichikawa calls her boyfriend, that girl, you know she's like so frustrated. She's like, why, like everyone's asking the same question. So in the end she gets so frustrated, she's like, you know what, I'm going to do something. She writes on the bandage that I was hit by a basketball so that nobody asks her the question. And you can see Ichikawa's very kind of crying, and she's like very sad. She's like, I'm so glad that my nose didn't break, and she's like I'm feeling so afraid, like whenever I'm thinking like something bad could have happened, I'm feeling so afraid and scared. And she's like crying, and she goes and like hugs her and she pats her head, and like she's like, I missed my photo shoot. My mom and my manager did say that, oh, there's no problem, like you don't have to worry about it, everything is fine. But like she says that, yeah, what's that part where she says, okay, that's the part about this that hurts the most. The part where her mom and her manager is like, oh, it's fine, no problem, you're a kid, you're supposed to get hurt, you're supposed to like fall down, and these type of accidents happens to anyone. This is part of growing up, so don't worry. That thing she's not able to accept it. She's like, that's the part about this that hurts the most. And she's like crying, and Ichikawa's like, Yamada really is a bit more grown up than the rest of us. Yeah, because she's thinking of this in this manner. That kind of shows her maturity, and how she's different from all the other kids. And then this guy, Adachi, he's just with his commentary, random commentary. I'm just, yeah, like she's crying, and then he's just making. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm just very frustrated with this guy. Like every episode, this guy's going to annoy us, wouldn't he? Like, I don't know what to feel about that. I'm pretty sure he's going to have an appearance in every episode, and whenever he's going to come out, I'm just going to be like cringing, and oh god, I don't know. Okay, next we get to see that Yamada is still crying, like she's like run out of tissue papers, and we get to see Ichikawa's like, oh, let me just give her tissue papers. But this is Ichikawa we're talking about. He cannot go and give it to her because he's not that confident. So he goes to the library and to put one of the tissue papers there, and wrote there, oh, use it if you want. But then he's like, oh, isn't this kind of shows that I'm the one who kept it? So what big brain plan he comes up with? He decides to put a tissue paper in on each side of the table, every table. That's a big brain plan. He's like, yep, pretty normal, this is, now she'll not know that it was me. But obviously Ichikawa looks at that, and Ichikawa's like, not Ichikawa, sorry, Yamada's like in her own world again, takes out a bag of potato chips, starts eating it, and starts wiping her hand on the tissue paper, and Ichikawa's like, this is what you're using it for? But you know what? She's happy. She understood that, Ichikawa left it for her, because, it's pretty apparent that she realized that it was Ichikawa who put this for her, because she takes the tissue paper box and is like looking at it, where it's written that use this, and she's smiling. So there you go. Then that is where it ended. So yeah, this was a very wholesome episode, except Adachi. I feel like this guy is probably going to annoy us each and every episode, and we'll just have to bear with it. But yeah, other than him, this is a very wholesome episode. So that was it. That was my reaction to episode number 3 of The Dangers in My Heart. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of The Dangers in My Heart. So until then, goodbye and have a nice day.